time. It marches forward, relentless, unstoppable. But what if everything you know about time is wrong? What if history itself is a fabrication? This is not the plot of a science fiction novel. This is the phantom time hypothesis, a controversial theory, a theory that claims centuries of our history are missing, erased, a phantom. Imagine a world where the year is not 2025. Imagine it's actually 1728. This is the startling claim of the phantom time hypothesis. It suggests that the years 614 AD to 911 AD never happened, a fabricated period inserted into history. But why? Who would invent time and why? The theory points to a conspiracy, a plot involving powerful figures like Holy Roman Emperor Otto III. The goal? To legitimize their rule, to align themselves with the year 1000 AD, a grand manipulation of history. But is this outlandish theory even possible? Let's dive into the evidence and the arguments that surround this controversial idea. The phantom time hypothesis, a controversial theory proposed in the 1990s by Heribert Illig, a German historian. His bold claim, that 297 years of history, from 614 AD to 911 AD, are a carefully constructed lie. Illig argues that powerful figures including Holy Roman Emperor Otto III and Pope Sylvester II orchestrated this historical fabrication. Their motive? To legitimize their reigns by aligning themselves with the symbolic year 1000 AD, a time of great religious and political significance. This period, known as the early Middle Ages, is often depicted as a time of intellectual darkness and societal decline. Illig believes this perception itself is evidence of the fabrication. He argues that the period lacks significant archaeological and historical evidence, suggesting a deliberate attempt to erase and rewrite history. The phantom time hypothesis challenges our understanding of the past, suggesting that the history we have been taught may be flawed. It raises fundamental questions about the reliability of historical records and the motivations of those who shape our understanding of the past. Proponents of the phantom time hypothesis point to several pieces of evidence to support their claims. They argue that architectural styles and technological advancements from the alleged phantom period are suspiciously similar to those from later periods. This, they claim, suggests that the phantom period was a time of artificial insertion, rather than genuine historical development. They also highlight inconsistencies in historical documents, such as discrepancies in dating systems and the perceived lack of progress in certain fields during this period. For example, they question the accuracy of the Gregorian calendar, suggesting that the 10-day adjustment made during its reform in 1582 should have been 13 days if the calendar accurately reflected the passage of time. Furthermore, they point to the scarcity of archaeological remains from the period in question. The lack of physical evidence, they argue, supports the idea that this period was artificially inserted into history. The absence of distinct cultural artifacts or significant architectural remnants fuels their suspicion. While these arguments may seem compelling at first glance, they are based on selective evidence and often misinterpret historical data. Mainstream historians have thoroughly debunked these claims, providing a more comprehensive and accurate understanding of the period. One of the central pieces of evidence cited by phantom time hypothesis proponents is the Gregorian calendar reform of 1582. This reform, instituted by Pope Gregory XIII, aimed to correct a drift in the Julian calendar which had been in use since Roman times. The Julian calendar, while relatively accurate, had a slight discrepancy in its calculation of the length of a year. This discrepancy resulted in a gradual drift of the calendar against the solar year, causing the dates of the equinoxes and solstices to shift over time. By the 16th century, the Julian calendar was off by about 10 days. To rectify this, Pope Gregory XIII implemented a 10-day correction, removing those days from October 1582. However, proponents of the phantom time hypothesis argue that the correction should have been 13 days, not 10. This discrepancy, they claim, is proof that the calendar was tampered with in the past, specifically during the alleged phantom period. They propose that the 13-day discrepancy is evidence of the missing 297 years. They argue that the calendar was manipulated to align with a fabricated historical timeline. They see this as a deliberate attempt to obscure the true chronology of events. However, this argument overlooks a crucial aspect of the calendar reform. The 10-day correction was not based solely on the accumulated drift since the time of Julius Caesar. It also took into account the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, which had established a specific date for Easter based on the then current understanding of the solar year. Section 5. Debunking the myth historians fight back. The phantom time hypothesis, while intriguing, has been widely rejected by mainstream historians. Their reasons are numerous and well-founded. They argue that the theory relies on a selective interpretation of historical evidence, often misrepresenting or ignoring facts that contradict its claims. One of the primary criticisms is that the theory suffers from a Eurocentric bias. It focuses heavily on European history while largely ignoring evidence from other parts of the world. The period in question, 614 AD to 911 AD, was a time of significant events and developments in Asia, Africa, and the Americas. To claim that this period never happened is to disregard the rich and complex history of these regions. Historians also point to the abundance of archaeological evidence that contradicts the phantom time hypothesis. Numerous artifacts, structures, and written records have been dated to the period in question, providing tangible proof of its existence. These artifacts include coins, pottery, tools, and even entire settlements, all of which have been meticulously analyzed and dated using scientific methods. Furthermore, the theory fails to adequately explain the motivations behind such a grand conspiracy. While Illig suggests that Otto III and others sought to legitimize their rule, historians argue that there is no compelling evidence to support this claim. The complexity and scale of the alleged conspiracy, involving the coordination of multiple individuals and institutions across centuries, stretch the bounds of plausibility. Section 6. Archaeological evidence echoes from the phantom past. Archaeology provides perhaps the most compelling refutation of the phantom time hypothesis. The period from 614 AD to 911 AD, far from being devoid of evidence, is actually rich with archaeological remains that attest to its existence. Across Europe and beyond, archaeologists have unearthed a wealth of artifacts that date to this period. In Britain, for example, excavations have revealed Anglo-Saxon settlements, burial sites, and religious artifacts from the 7th and 8th centuries. These findings provide tangible evidence of a thriving culture during the supposed phantom period. Similarly, in Scandinavia, Viking settlements and ship burials from the 8th and 9th centuries provide further evidence against the phantom time hypothesis. These archaeological sites have yielded a wealth of information about Viking culture, trade routes, and shipbuilding techniques. Furthermore, dendrochronology, the study of tree rings, provides independent confirmation of the dating of these archaeological sites. By analyzing the growth rings of ancient trees, scientists can establish a precise year-by-year chronology that aligns with the dates obtained through other dating methods. The archaeological evidence from this period is vast and varied, ranging from everyday objects to monumental structures. It paints a vivid picture of a complex and dynamic period, one that cannot be dismissed as a mere fabrication. Section 7. The allure of conspiracy. Why phantom time persists. Despite its lack of credible evidence and widespread rejection by experts, the phantom time hypothesis continues to fascinate some. This persistence in part stems from the allure of conspiracy theories themselves. Conspiracy theories often provide simple explanations for complex phenomena, offering a sense of order and control in a world that can feel chaotic and unpredictable. They appeal to our desire for hidden knowledge and our distrust of authority figures. In the case of the phantom time hypothesis, the idea that centuries of history could be fabricated is both intriguing and unsettling. It challenges our fundamental understanding of the past and raises questions about the reliability of historical narratives. Moreover, the theory's focus on powerful figures like Otto III and Pope Sylvester II plays into our suspicions of authority and our fascination with secret societies and hidden agendas. It suggests that history is not merely a record of events, but a construct shaped by those in power. However, it's important to remember that the allure of a conspiracy theory does not equate to its validity. The phantom time hypothesis, while captivating, lacks the rigorous evidence and scholarly support to be considered a credible theory. Section 8. Beyond phantom time, a universe of delayed perception. While the phantom time hypothesis may be a historical fallacy, it does highlight a fascinating aspect of our perception of time. We always experience the past, never the present. This phenomenon is not a product of historical manipulation, but a fundamental principle of physics. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, the speed of light is constant, regardless of the observer's motion. This means that light takes time to travel from its source to our eyes. The farther away an object is, the longer it takes for its light to reach us. Consider the sun. It takes approximately 8 minutes for sunlight to reach Earth. Therefore, when we look at the sun, we are seeing it as it was 8 minutes ago. The same principle applies to distant stars and galaxies, some of which are so far away that their light has been traveling for billions of years before reaching our telescopes. In essence, every time we look at the night sky, we are peering back in time, witnessing events that occurred long ago. The universe, in a sense, is a giant time machine, allowing us to observe the past in all its glory. Section 9. The enduring mystery, questioning the fabric of time. The phantom time hypothesis, despite its flaws, compels us to confront our understanding of time and history. It reminds us that history is not a static, objective truth, but a continually evolving narrative, shaped by interpretation, evidence, and perspective. While the idea of missing centuries may be unfounded, the broader questions it raises about the nature of time, the reliability of historical records, and the motivations of those who shape our understanding of the past remain relevant. As we continue to explore the universe and delve deeper into the annals of history, we must remain vigilant, questioning assumptions, scrutinizing evidence, and embracing the complexities of the past. The phantom time hypothesis, though ultimately a historical fallacy, serves as a reminder that our understanding of time and history is constantly evolving, shaped by new discoveries and shifting perspectives.